So I'm excited about this small trick that I have discovered in GA4, and I kind of use it all the time for things like campaign analysis, like drill down, wading through a lot of data, but also event tracking, but also just tracking down like strange things that I see in my data. So let me just show you what I mean. Welcome to the channel, my name is Leon. This channel exists to help you make better decisions in your daily work using your analytics data. And today I'm going to show you how you can make a campaign drill down report in GA4 using this trick that I kind of use all the time. Let's go in GA4 and I'll show you what I mean. So today I'm using the demo account from Google Analytics itself. And under Explore, I'm going to fire up a new exploration. Let's do some prep work first. So I'm calling this report Campaign Drill Down. I want this report not to have a fixed date range. I want it to, if I look this up in a week or so, I want it to show the last 28 days every time. And now I'm gonna add some dimensions. And because it's a campaign drill down report, I will look for all the fields that have something to do with traffic sources. So it's under here. And if you look here, you will see that you will have a lot of fields. And this is probably one of the confusing parts of Google Analytics 4. If you look for source medium, for instance, you will find that it has 3 fields. And I'm planning another video about this topic, why it has 3 fields and not just 1. It's too big to include it in this video. It should have its own video. So subscribe to the channel to get that video as soon as I upload it. For now, what you need to know is that if you see some duplicate fields, you need to pick the session source medium. Especially if you're just doing some regular campaign drill down reporting, you would want a session source medium and not the other ones. Again, details about this in another video. So the dimensions I'm going to add are on the traffic source, and then session default channel group is the first one, session source medium is the second one, session campaign is the third one, session manual add content and manual term, those 2 are the last ones that I need, and then I'm going to hit import. And as metrics, I'm just going to go for active users, engagement, rate, transactions, in this case, but you could use conversions if you'd like. And because it's an e-commerce store, I can also add e-commerce revenue here. Or there's also a total revenue. So there you go. So now that we have our basic prep work done, let's continue building this report. So I'm just gonna start by adding all the metrics as value to my report. And values is in the second column down below here. So I've added active users, engagement rate, transactions, and total revenue. So I have the total amount of active users, engagement rate, transactions, and total revenue right here in the report. And I'm gonna start by adding the most general classification of traffic sources. So the most general classification of traffic sources is the default channel group. So I'm gonna add that as a row. And this will show me all the channel groups that I have inside of my GA4 account. This is my level 1. Channel groups. So let's say that I want to analyze my email campaigns today. And emails are right here under 8. This is where my trick comes in handy. I'm going to duplicate this tab. And I'm going to right click on the row email and say include only selection. This will generate a filter on this report down here that says session default channel group exactly matches email. And especially if you do this multiple times during your analysis, this will save you a lot of time. So now I have only the active users, engagement rate, transactions, and revenue from my email group. So I might as well just remove this altogether. Because I have this filter, it will still show me only the active users from the channel group email. So now I want to know, like, how is this divided up? If I look at source medium, are there multiple email sources inside of my GA4 report? I'm gonna add that as a row here. And if there are multiple email sources, for instance, you have your weekly newsletter, but you also have some welcome funnels, they will show up here. In this case, there's only just one newsletter source, but if you have multiple here, you can do exactly the same trick. Let me just show. I'm gonna call this level 2 source medium. If you want to see what campaigns were sent out during the time that we have selected, you can do that using exactly the same trick, just by duplicating this report. I'm going to rename it right away and I'm going to call it campaigns. Again, if you have multiple email sources in this report, you can just right click on the email source that you want to analyze and say include only selection. And this will again just add a second filter to this report that filters by this email source. I can safely remove the session source medium now from the report because I have filtered on this newsletter. So if I remove, I will still see only the active users from that session source medium, which is 156. If I want to see the campaigns from this email source, I can add email campaigns now as a row, and this will show me all the campaigns that are under this email source. Well, I see there was just one email campaign, April 2023 Earth Day V1. And by the way, I also see this warning sign that says thresholding applies. And that's the reason why I do not see 156 active users, but I only see 144. There was probably another session campaign that was driving traffic, maybe an old newsletter where just a few people clicked on, but that one is removed from the report to protect the privacy of those users. So we only see this email campaign right here. There's a way you can bypass this thresholding, but that's too big of a subject for this video, so maybe for another time. Let me know in the comments if you want to know more about that. So session campaign. By now you probably know the trick. If we want to know like where do people click within this campaign, so you send out a newsletter, usually there's one of two fields that people use for that. So I'm gonna duplicate it and let's look for what field was used here. So I'm just gonna call it drill down. Again, I'm gonna right click, include only selection, because from that email I want to know like where did people click. And again, this is going to create a third filter. I'm again going to remove this as a row. So if you have a newsletter and inside of that newsletter you have multiple buttons, usually manual add content or manual term are used to kind of tag those buttons, so you can analyze which button was clicked most often. So I've added manual add content to this report. Let's also add manual term to see if that contains anything. It can also just be empty. Let's find out. No, session manual term, that was not used here. Manual add content was used and it only contains the shop now button. Again, thresholding is applied. So you only see 111. Probably there were more buttons in this newsletter, but those buttons have not been clicked enough, so Google Analytics 4 automatically truncates that from the report, again to protect the privacy of those users. But now we know the button that was clicked most often in that newsletter, and it's called Shop Now. Well, you could take this even further. Under dimensions, let's look for landing page. Let's look for something that's also nice to do is device category. So if we want to know from this campaign, what was the most used landing page? We can just duplicate this. I'm going to say level 4 landing page. Well, again, I'm going to filter on this campaign because I will only want to know it from this campaign. Remove the session campaign because I've already filtered. And I'm going to add landing page to this report to see all the landing pages from this particular email campaign. And I see that the homepage was actually the most used on this particular email campaign. Not set is something that I see a lot, especially when analyzing session source medium and landing page. So something else that you could do from this campaign, we still have this Earth Day campaign. If you want to know, like, how did people look this up? When people click through on the site, did they do that using their cell phone, or did they do that by using a regular computer? Well, we can see that by going into duplicate and say devices. Just gonna call it level 4. So I'm gonna filter down, include only selection, because I only want to analyze this campaign, and I'm gonna remove the rows. I'm gonna add device category, and now I know the people that clicked on this particular newsletter viewed the site on their desktop computer, not on a mobile phone. So that's it for today. This is my drill down trick that I use all the time. That saves me a lot of time wading through a lot of data. If you've got questions about this video, please leave them down in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, please click like and subscribe to the channel. That really helps me get this channel off the ground. I hope you have a great day. See you in the next video. Goodbye.